So, welcome back to the podcast. We got a special guest, my good friend and the face of Grizzlies Twitter, Molly Morrison. So, y'all, welcome her in. And so now we're going to talk, Grizzlies basketball. They've been struggling big time in the bubble. They're 1-6 right now. So, what have you guys thought about just the way the Grizzlies have performed so far in the bubble?
I think we can all agree that Dylan Brooks is just simply not delivering what he needs to do in the minutes that Taylor Jenkins is giving him. I think he needs to explore different lineups. I think I would personally go with D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, anybody, just because he's taking a lot of shots and a lot of bad shots, and that's not good for our lineup.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, Dylan. People like to use Dylan as like the scapegoat, me included. However, as much as I hate to admit it, Dylan, though he is definitely like the weakest link right now, and this just like is not our time. And I think after we lost Jaren, that was evident. So it has not been fun, but I'm writing an article actually that's coming out tomorrow. It's like the 5 stages of grief throughout the bubble, and I feel like I'm finally on like stage 5, which is acceptance.
Yeah, I feel like you made a good point there by saying like it's just not our time, because we're the Grizzlies are the only team that come into the bubble, missing 2 key guys already, and Justice Winslow and Tyus Jones. None of them playing in any of the seeding games. And then you lose Jaren Jackson in Game 3 against the Pelicans. And it's just like that combination of factors, plus the very lackluster production from Dylan Brooks, it just shows you like this team is, a couple of steps away, a couple of healthy players away from actually being a contender in the Western Conference.
I will say that, my bad to drop Nick. John's 21. Yeah. This is Jaren's second or third season. Dylan is still fairly young. So this is a young nucleus, They have time to develop and grow. And this even Taylor Jenkins' first year. So, this is a team that can grow together, develop together, things it is.
No, I want to hear what y'all think about this. Listen. I had these stats pulled up for this article I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So Dylan Brooks, to bring things back to him, has been shooting below 50% in 19 of the 21 games since his contract extension.
Yeah.
And he shot 26% from 3 overall since he signed.
Exactly. And just in the 7 games in the bubble, he shot 40% from the field and 23% from 3.
Yeah.
And those aren't good numbers at all for a starting shooting guard on any team. And so, talking about Dylan Brooks, like,
especially when you got Grayson Allen putting up 20-point games.
That's exactly where I was about to go. Like, I feel like Grayson Allen is most definitely like a player who's shown that, like, he deserves a minute boost and maybe even a look in the starting lineup with the way he's been playing and the things he brings to the table. And we talk about Grayson Allen, we got to realize he's shooting 45% from 3 in these 7 games, and he's holding his own on the defensive end, not fouling DeMar DeRozan at the end of close games. So I think there should be a change in the starting lineup. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah. Grayson has been probably like the biggest pleasant thing to come out of the bubble. Yeah. Surprised, kind of. But, I mean, definitely surprised in a way that we didn't think he would be shooting like that so quick. Yeah. We thought it might take him a little more time. But,
I mean,
especially when he wasn't playing much during the regular season. What are you saying, though, Josh?
I was like, Nick knows that I just been pounding the table for Dylan Brooks for a minute. Even ever since they really came into the bubble, like, and you talk about the contracts, because he hasn't been on his game. A lot of guys' production has went up because of the empty arena or none of the fans, but he's just gone the opposite way. So I think it's been beyond time for Taylor Jenkins to make a switch.
Yeah,
I agree.
So since we kind of trashed Dylan Brooks, so I want to get y'all thoughts on, like, Molly says she's been pleasantly surprised by Grayson Allen. Like, who else has, like, really surprised y'all and performed well in y'all's opinion in this bubble for the Grizzlies?
I mean, I know we all realize that Jonas, he was a dominant presence down low, But even his production, you know, it wasn't, you know, I didn't see 20 and 10 nightly from him on the regular. But that's kind of what he's been giving us. And he's kind of been buoying the team, especially with Ja having, you know, probably hitting a rookie wall in the sense of, you know, struggling in some of these later games. So he's really been kind of the anchor for the team, and I did not expect that would be the case upon the restart.
Yeah,
I agree. I think JV has been just like so consistent, which is just something we never really saw with Mark. Not saying anything about who's better because obviously they're very different players. JV is really a true center, but also, I don't know, with Jaren being gone, I'm also pleasantly surprised by Gorgie Jang. He's been playing pretty well. So
highest player guy on the team, hey, he brings that leadership and that experience to that locker room. So
yeah,
kind of more off court guy than on court production.
Because like you think about Gorgie Jang, like he didn't even play in those first 3 games, you know, when Jaren was healthy.
Exactly.
And for him to just step in and, you know, be able to contribute the way he did, like that's, you know, major. But I will say, like, I definitely agree with the JV one because I think, in my opinion, he's been the best player on the Grizzlies throughout the whole bubble. Because we've seen Josh struggle a little bit. We've seen Kyle Anderson struggle, which is, you know, he's not a star anyway. And we've seen, you know, BC plays his role. But Giannis has definitely been the best player for the Grizzlies in the bubble, in my opinion. And so
yeah, that's fair.
So lastly, you know, I just want to talk about what y'all think the Grizzlies' chances are for the playoffs. So last night, Blazers get a win against the Mavericks. You know, with Dame dropped 61 after all the talking stuff.
61. Dang.
Exactly. And so Dame drops his 61. They get the win. That propelled Portland into the 8th spot, knocking the Grizzlies down to the 9. And so basically, in order for the Grizzlies to have any chance of getting the 8th, they have to beat the Bucks tomorrow, and they need the Blazers to lose tomorrow to the Nets. So what percentage do y'all put that at happening at? And I'm going to remind y'all, Giannis is suspended for the game tomorrow.
I was about to say that, for that head, but I'm going to let Molly take it, you feel me?
I don't know if I can do a percentage, but I will say that I think we will make the play-in game because I think that the Bucks are going to be nice to us since Jenkins coached for them and they all have a good relationship with him and they don't really – so I think they're going to hand us the win. I don't think Giannis was going to play anyways. However, I don't see us in the playoffs and I kind of hate this because everyone wants to see a Suns-Blazers play-in game.
Yeah.
And the Suns do deserve it. I mean, look at what they've done.
This is Devin Booker's first time winning 4 games in a row. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've been, like, perfect. So it's hard because, I don't know. I just feel like if we get the 8th seed and not the 9th, I think we do have a good shot at making the playoffs, but I don't foresee that happening.
Who'd you say the Blazers are playing tomorrow, Nick?
The Blazers play the Nets tomorrow.
That Nets team, they got a lot of Memphis guys, so they've been kind of scrappy. So I don't know. Would they have anybody really that they would need to sit or whatever?
No, I doubt the Nets. I highly doubt they're sitting anybody. They don't have any stars. So I'm pretty sure that's who will go. But they are locked into the playoffs.
Yeah, they were the 7th seed.
Yeah, 7th seed in the East.
Man, this is it is what it is at this point. Dame is looking like it's between him, Devin Booker, and the GOAT of T.J. Warren. You know, as the best player in the bubble right now. And it's just unfortunate timing for the Grizzlies. So I think that Dame will continue to slay. I think that they'll probably hold on to that 8th slot. You know, make your rooms, get back together. You know, reload for the next season.
And I find it kind of funny that Molly said, you know, Suns Blazers is the playing game everyone wants to see, when in reality, everybody wants to see the Pelicans either in the playoff game or in the AC. And, you know, they getting sent home, tomorrow or today? I can't remember if it's today or tomorrow. But they, you know, got to leave the bubble tomorrow. So I will say, though, I feel like the Grizzlies will likely.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll get that 9 seed and lose to Portland because the play-in tournament is set up to reward the 8 seed. So, I feel like it's gonna be easy for the Blazers to win that one game, get into the playoffs, beat the Lakers, that whole thing. So I think it's not good, not great for the Grizzlies, but it's good for those young guys to, come in and get these highly competitive minutes against these highly competitive playoff teams in the bubble.
I mean, if we were healthy, we would just be having a completely different conversation because
Honestly.
even though the odds, if we were healthy, that we'd beat the Lakers were not great, I still think we could have been competitive. I think we could have gotten a few wins, but without Tyus and Jaren, I mean, Justice is different because he never played for us. There's just not. It's just not even like exciting. I hate to say it. Like.
I agree. It's just been tough watching the games. I will say that.
Yeah, it really has. I don't know. I don't even want to be overconfident about the Bucks because, like, I won't be surprised no matter what happens there.
Yeah, because I was pretty confident about the Grizzlies' chances going into the Celtics game. Because,
man, we was recording, talking about it. Like, yeah, I think we're going to put up a fight, man. We saw the first quarter, it got back down to 35-17. Like, yeah.
Y'all really were confident? That was, like, June.
I mean, like,
they were playing everyone.
The only reason I was confident was because I just felt like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would be on a minutes restriction. But that didn't really end up happening.
Well, that's a whole different conversation because we know the NBA had something to do with that.
I agree. I'm glad you said that because there's been multiple games where this has happened.
If you look at –
because think about it, bro. The Celtics are literally sitting everybody for their game tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
And then when the Grizzlies played, oh my God, it was another game. Utah. When they played Utah, the next game after the Grizzlies played them, Utah set everybody. So it's just like, what's really going on, man?
Yeah, I think that's obvious. I mean, the thing is, though, it's like I'd be really mad about that. However, like, since we're so shorthanded, you can't blame anything on that. But typically, I would be very frustrated about the weirdness of, like, players seeming to always be playing against us. Not against other teams.
It wasn't really something I had really looked at or considered until you just said it out loud. So
yeah, I mean, even the Raptors
NBA is
played
wrestling
everybody.
now at this point.
It's just it is what it is. We're just gonna hope for the best for next season. I think that's the best thing we can do. Hope Jaren comes back, 100%. Hope Justice comes back 100%, and maybe look at a new starting shooting guard. I don't know. Even though we just paid Dylan Brooks.
But that's y'all favorite Grizzly though, so I ain't gonna talk too bad about him.
I know I'm trying to be nicer about him, but
no reason to.
I mean,
I told him it should be motivation for him to hear us talking cash about him. That should motivate him to take some better shots, make some passes. So yeah, get it all out.
I don't know what's going on there in his head because you would think he would have gotten that memo already.
And I will say Taylor Jenkins did say he had to, like, sit down and talk to him, and it doesn't seem like much has changed in the way he's been playing, especially since Jaren went out. It's just like he's got the green light all the time, whether Taylor Jenkins gave it to him or he gave it to himself.
Yeah, he takes these, like, contested shots and then, like, makes these frustrating fouls, and it's like, what are you doing?
Exactly. And, like,
you need to be a catch and shoot guy. Stop trying to, like, post up when there's someone else open. Right.
I saw this one screenshot on Twitter. Dylan Brooks pulling up for three, like, with three defenders around him, while Grayson Allen is standing in the corner, like, nobody close.
Exactly. With his arms up, like, pass me the ball.
Exactly. And I think that's the perfect way to describe Dylan Brooks to somebody who hasn't seen him play.
Oh, yeah. That picture was great.
It's just kind of, frightening that he's not, like I keep saying, he's not one of these one-and-done guys. He's a guy that did 4 years at Oregon. He's one of the oldest second-year players in the league at 24 or something like that. And there's no reason for him to be still taking these bad shots, making these bad decisions out there. So at this point, you got to really ask, what did you just sign yourself to? So.
Yeah. And so I guess I want to end this little segment out on a positive note. We're going to get off the Dylan Brooks bully train. I just want to see, what do you guys think about just how I want to call it the big three, the young core has performed in terms of Ja, Jaren, and BC.
It's just difficult because Ja's been struggling a little bit. Murray State. Just the jump from college to the NBA, that rookie wall, I think that kind of affected him. Just kind of an
Yeah.
unfair question to ask at this moment because they really didn't get a lot of minutes together, all three of them. So I just kind of think that honestly, this bubble is a wash for us. Just get everybody come back healthy next season and see what kind of run we can make.
Yeah, but I was saying like just in terms of like optimism for next season, like just what those three guys have shown. You know what I'm saying?
I'm optimistic about that. Yeah, I think it's unreal how lucky we are. Well, not lucky because I mean it was our front office. It's crazy from the Mike Conley trade. We literally got Grayson and BC.
Yeah.
And then we also got John Moran. I mean, I think there's nowhere to go from here but up. I mean, I just think there's kind of no doubt that Ja is going to be special. I mean, I think I think in a few years from now, it'll be like him, Luka, maybe Zion hopefully if Zion can.
If he lays off the McDonald's or whatever.
Shed some weight and,
Take the quarters out of his pocket.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't like to talk mean about Zion's weight, but I think it's obvious that.
That's a hefty brother. Hey,
I think it's obvious that it's a struggle for him and that it's harder for him to lose weight than because it seems like there's something else going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think it's necessarily losing weight, just getting in shape. Whatever weight that you play at, where you can run up and down 48 minutes. It doesn't matter the weight; it matters the conditioning. But he was not in shape in Atlanta.
Yeah,
no question about it.
But yeah, it'll be great. The next few years, I'm very excited for. And right now, you see a player like Dame who hasn't won and who is not very new to the league. Yeah. So I think it's someone like that, someone like Carmelo's time to shine, and that we have a bigger window, than some of these teams. So.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I feel optimistic about Josh's performance in the bubble. Like, I see a lot of people down on him, especially like late in games. But like my thing is, he's had to get his minutes bumped up due to Tyus' injury, so he's playing more minutes. He came into the bubble with added muscle weight. I think his pops said he put on like 10 to 15 pounds of muscle weight, and you can kind of see that affecting him, especially late in games. But I still feel like Ja has been able to like be that key spark plug to a number of Grizzlies runs to make a lot of these games close. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially that Portland game when Memphis was down big at halftime, Ja came out the third quarter and just lit it up. And then, he was out of gas the fourth quarter in overtime. But, he still made it happen. And then in terms of Jaren, like, Jaren has most definitely shown he's a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? The man's shooting 35% from three in the bubble, 49% from the field. And he's just filling it up on a nightly basis in terms of points and protecting the paint. And lastly, Brandon Clark, he's just like the perfect third. You know what I'm saying? He's top 5 in the bubble in terms of field goal percentage in the paint, and he's just doing everything the Grizzlies need him to do. So I feel like this young core can propel the Grizzlies a long way. Even though Brandon Clark likely won't start, he's just that key piece off the bench that keeps the engine going.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said.
So I guess we're gonna close this one out. We appreciate you for coming on with us, Molly.
Thank you so much.
Some time with us, giving us some clout.
For sure.
Y'all are giving me clout.
Never.
I wish we were.
Really though.
But we're gonna go on and wrap this segment up. We appreciate it.
All right, bye. Thanks, guys.
All right, y'all.
Bye-bye.